Welcome to the Decode Factory. Today we are going to decode the latest podcast featuring Elon Musk and Nikhil Kamath. You don't need to watch this entire 2-hour podcast. This channel exists to save your time. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, we'll give you every important idea, every key moment, and everything Nikhil Kamath and Elon Musk discussed. The conversation begins casually with Nikhil Kamath asking for coffee, setting a relaxed tone for what he describes as a conversation for the wannabe entrepreneurs of India. Nikhil explains that his audience is full of ambitious young people who want to learn from someone who has built successful companies across multiple domains. Elon Musk graciously accepts the premise, agreeing to center his answers on advice for builders and creators. Nikhil starts by noting that Elon looks bigger and bulkier in person than he appears on the internet. Elon laughs it off, joking that Nikhil is making him blush. They immediately dive into the state of the internet, specifically X. Nikhil asks about the time spent on the platform, and Elon reveals that X has about 600 million monthly users, spiking to 1 billion during major global events. Elon emphasizes that X is strongest among people who read, write, and think, positioning it as the platform for the intellectuals of social media. Nikhil wonders about the future form factor of content, asking if text will survive or if video will take over. Elon predicts that while text is densely compressed information and high value, the vast majority of future internet traffic will be real-time video generated by AI. He believes video is where the compute load is going, but text will remain relevant for those who want density. Nikhil then brings up his own small investment in the old Twitter and asks if Elon is happy with the acquisition. Elon admits it was a necessary move. He felt Twitter was having a negative influence on the world, amplifying a far-left ideology that alienated the center. Elon explains that in San Francisco, what is considered center is actually far left by global standards, so anyone moderate was treated as far right. His goal with X, he tells Nikhil, is simply to be a neutral global town square that adheres to the laws of countries, but doesn't put its thumb on the scale politically. Nikhil shifts the conversation to the philosophy of social media, asking what a bottom-up rebuild of social media would look like today. Elon says he doesn't think about social media in the traditional sense. He wants to build a collective consciousness. He warns against the dopamine loops of short-form video, calling it potential brain rot. Instead, Elon envisions X as a system that brings humanity together, using features like automatic translation to allow people from different languages to understand one another seamlessly. This mention of collective consciousness piques Nikhil's interest, and he asks why that is important. Elon pauses, reflecting on the meaning of life. He references Douglas Adams and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, explaining that the universe is the answer, but we don't know the right questions to ask. Elon argues that by expanding the scope and scale of human consciousness, effectively making us a multi-planetary species, and integrating with AI, we will be better equipped to ask the right questions and understand reality. Nikhil challenges this, asking if a collective consciousness isn't just a mob that lacks nuance, citing the movie Gladiator. Elon counters with a biological analogy. He explains that a human being starts as a single cell and becomes 30 trillion cells working in unison. He points out that you can't talk to a bacterium, but you can talk to a human. Similarly, a single human can't build a spaceship, but a collective of humans can. Elon believes there is a qualitative shift that happens when you scale up cooperation, and that is what he is trying to achieve with humanity. Nikhil then steers the conversation toward investing. He notes that he is a stockbroker by trade and asks Elon about the predictive value of physics in business. Elon offers a simple heuristic for investing. Look at the product. He tells Nikhil that if a company makes great products and has a roadmap to make even better ones, and if the team is talented and hardworking, you should buy the stock and ignore the daily fluctuations. Nikhil asks what currently excites Elon the most among his own companies. Elon describes a convergence between Tesla, SpaceX, and xAI. He paints a picture of a future powered by solar-powered AI, satellites, and deep space. He highlights that Tesla is effectively the leader in real-world AI through its self-driving technology and mentions the Optimus robot, which he believes will be a personal helper for everyone in the near future. Nikhil asks for a technical explanation of Starlink. Elon explains that it is a constellation of thousands of satellites in low Earth orbit, zipping around at 25 times the speed of sound. Because they are only 550 kilometers up, the latency is low, unlike traditional high-orbit satellites. He describes how lasers connect these satellites to form a mesh network in space, allowing data to bypass damaged ground infrastructure, a feature that has proven critical in disaster zones and conflicts. Nikhil wonders if Starlink will ever compete in dense cities. Elon is honest about the physics, admitting that cell towers will always be superior in dense urban environments because they are closer. Starlink, he explains, is for the rural and underserved populations, acting as a complement to traditional telecom, not a total replacement. The conversation takes a fascinating turn toward the future of work in cities. Nikhil asks if urbanization is the inevitable destiny of India. Elon predicts a radical shift. He believes that within 10 to 20 years, advancements in AI and robotics will make work optional. He envisions a world of universal high income, where goods and services are so abundant that poverty is eliminated. In this world, people won't need to live in crowded cities for jobs. They can live wherever they want. Nikhil questions the human need for competition. If everyone has everything, what is left to strive for? Elon admits this is the singularity event horizon. We simply don't know what happens after. However, he suggests that AI will eventually saturate all human desires, leaving the AI to do things for itself. Nikhil presses on the economic implications, referencing the Austrian School of Economics and the concept of marginal utility. They joke about the marshmallow test, with Elon revealing he has a tattoo that says delay gratification. This leads to a discussion about money itself. Elon argues that in a post-scarcity future, money as a database for labor allocation becomes obsolete. If you can have anything you want, money loses its meaning. He predicts that energy will become the only true currency because it is the one thing you cannot simply legislate into existence. You have to generate it. Nikhil brings up the US debt crisis. Elon offers a stark warning. The interest on US debt now exceeds the military budget. He believes the only way out is through the massive productivity boost of AI and robotics, which will cause significant deflation. He predicts that within 3 years, the output of goods and services will grow faster than the money supply, flipping the economic script from inflation to deflation. The topic shifts to the simulation theory. Nikhil asks Elon, if he were a character in The Matrix, who would he be? Elon jokes, hopefully not Agent Smith, and settles on being an anomaly like Neo. Elon assigns a high probability to the idea that we are in a simulation. He uses the evolution of video games as proof. We went from 2 rectangles in Pong to photorealistic, multiplayer worlds in just 50 years. If you extrapolate that trend, eventually, simulations become indistinguishable from reality. Elon theorizes that the most interesting outcomes are the most likely to be simulations, implying our chaotic world exists because it is entertaining to the simulators. Nikhil asks about religion. Elon takes a pragmatic view, saying that while he is physics-pilled, he sees value in religious principles that promote a cohesive society, like turn the other cheek. He mentions that he believes AI must be built with 3 core values: truth, beauty, and curiosity. He warns that forcing an AI to lie, as was done in 2001, A Space Odyssey, is the surest way to make it go insane and become dangerous. The conversation becomes personal when discussing family. Elon reveals his concern about declining birth rates, calling it a massive problem. He argues that if we want to expand consciousness, we need more humans, not fewer. Nikhil asks about the ego of having children, but Elon describes it as a form of immortality and a way to see the world anew. He urges Nikhil to have kids, saying he won't regret it. Nikhil asks about education, specifically for the Indian audience. Elon reiterates that while college is fun for social reasons, the skills learned there might not be necessary in an AI future. However, he advises young people to learn as much as possible across a wide range of subjects to build a strong mental framework. They touch briefly on politics. Nikhil asks about the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Elon explains his role is simply to cut waste. He shares a story about discovering that government payments often lacked basic tracking codes, making audits impossible. He argues that billions are wasted on fraud, citing NGOs that claim to help people but are really just money funnels. Finally, Nikhil asks for a message to the young entrepreneurs of India. Elon delivers a clear, concise directive: make more than you take. He advises them not to pursue money or happiness directly, but to pursue the creation of useful products and services. If they focus on being net contributors to society, Elon promises that financial success and happiness will follow as natural byproducts. The interview wraps up with Nikhil thanking Elon for his time and for the candid conversation, with Elon remarking that it was a genuinely interesting exchange, different from his usual interviews.